here we go. All right, we are now live at, where are we? Newburyport?
Newburyport, Mass.
Newburyport, Mass. So I didn't realize too, you're like right on site of the hospital here. This is like a medical building.
Planned it that way.
Yeah. We're on the campus right now?
Technically, this is owned by a different company.
Oh, okay.
Building, but it's right down the hill from the hospital.
Okay, well, so welcome to Tim Talk. This is a really, your staff is insanely nice here.
I pay them too.
You pay them? This is all fake. Like, is it a one-day fee?
Did you see the red carpet and everything we had to establish?
Then it goes back to normal as soon as I walk out. They're like, I'll break out start smoking and all this other stuff and just throwing down shots. Anyway, okay, cool. Well, thank you very much for having me here. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. So you're native to Winchester, is that right?
So weird story. Everybody says Winchester because it says Winchester High on it.
I just go by what ChatGPT tells me.
ChatGPT is the way to go. So I grew up in Sri Lanka. So we moved to the country when we were 7 years old. Went to Rochester, New York.
Okay.
And then my sister got a job at Analog Devices, and so we just went with her. So we got here, and we've been there since. So I've been in Winchester. Finished my high school there. Then I went to UMass Amherst. Then I went to Philly for master's, Tennessee for med school, Connecticut for residency, and back home. So.
And when you first were cutting your teeth as a clinician after residency and everything, what kind of jobs did you start off with clinically?
So the thing about residency is, like, when I was in residency, you were in one hospital and you learned for 3 years in one hospital. So when I left, I was like, I want to know what is out there. It's imposter syndrome. Am I a real doctor? Can I really do this? Am I good? So I decided to do locum work, and I was at 7 or 8 different.
Oh, wow. You started with locums work?
I started with locums work.
Why? For cash mainly?
The money was great.
Yeah.
I had a lot of bills to catch up on.
Yeah. So quick thing, because we have a lot of viewers who are not in the industry. So I'm just going to do a quick little. So locums basically is like when you have any type of practice that is shorthanded on clinicians and they need them. Like, let's say, for instance, your local hospital has a couple ED physicians that quit. So you have no one working in your emergency department. You need patients to be able to be seen. So you can contract with a locums group. And basically it's like a staffing service for clinicians. And it pays a lot. Like, it can pay $2,000-$3,000 a shift, depending on your specialty and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's a good way to get cash, and your medical bill, your student loans must have been insane.
100%.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. I never heard that before, but that's smart. But all right, go ahead.
It was flexibility also, because, when you're in residency, so I did master's, medical school, residency. Your whole life was pretty much set. You know what I mean? You didn't have days off. You didn't have this. They had your schedule. The good thing about locums, is I pick up whenever I want to work. And if I don't want to work, I don't have to work. There's no set schedule.
Right.
So I did that at 7 different hospitals.
Man. Yeah, you're not putting in to say, like, can I have this week off? You just choose.
I just don't work.
You're basically an independent contractor.
Yeah. So I did that. So, and that was mostly because I wanted to see, like, well, I can manage patients in Connecticut, but can I manage patients here? Can I manage patients here? What's this patient panel like? And it took maybe 6 months to realize it's all the same.
Okay.
It was really, medical management wise, there was really no difference.
Yeah.
Congestive heart failure in one hospital was the same as in another hospital.
What kind of, and you were doing hospitalist medicine.
Yep.
And what year are we in now?
So that would have been, I graduated in 2018. So from like 2018 to like.
How old are you?
I was born in 86. That's all I can. I stopped counting a long time ago. Yeah.
I thought you were older than that.
Yeah.
You just look a lot older than that.
It's just the hair. I lost the hair. The gray came out real early.
Yeah, we'll be talking about the beard later. Don't you worry. Okay, cool. So that's interesting. Yeah, because when I started in the industry, hospitalist medicine wasn't even a thing.
It wasn't.
Because I'm a wee bit older than you. So like in the 90s and stuff like that. Like it was my first hospitalist client was 2002, I want to say. Yeah. And I think it was pretty much right on the forefront. It was right when it started, and it was in Norwood Hospital where we started at. But anyway, sorry.
Where it flooded?
What's that?
Norwood, right?
Yes, pre-flood. Yeah, we had so I don't know if you know, God, Dr. Apurv Gupta.
I know that name. Actually.
He's been all around. I think he might even do a TV show or something. I haven't connected with him in a while, but yeah, he ran a program over there for quite a while. Dr. Harish Patel, technically, I think, came before him, and then. But then that was like in the Caritas Christi days, and then when Stewart came, it got like, as anyone knows, everyone grimaces once the word steward is said. And
I worked at St. Vincent Hospital, Norwood Hospital, Good Samaritan, Holy Family. So I was with Steward. So
okay.
I was with
Well, St. Vincent wasn't Steward.
No, that was the different one. So
that's a gorgeous campus. I just love that damn.
Like, it was a hotel.
Yeah, you go in this place and it's like this beautiful courtyard with like life, like trees and
everything.
A water fountain. Like,
they got 2 Dunkin' Donuts on each side.
And I walk in there like, this isn't a hospital. This isn't like and so do I have any client? I have one client left over there right now. I have a hand surgeon over there, but like they but I'm just like, and people are just walking by like it's normal. I'm like, I can't even imagine working at this place. Like every day it's like, oh yeah, no, this is my gorgeous fountain. And like, you're like in the Garden of Eden out there.
I was lost when I worked there. It's one of the only reasons I didn't like working at St. Vincent is they had 2 different hospitalist teams alone, and nobody knew anybody because it was so massive. Like it was really hard. But I guess it used to be a hotel, and then they.
Oh, it really was a hotel.
It was a hotel when they first started. It was supposed to be like a nice resort hotel.
Oh.
And that crumbled, and then they built it into a hospital instead. That's why it's got that. It looks like a hotel when you walk in.
That's wild.
All the rooms are like in this one area. We're gonna do like a conference center there and thing.
Wow.
But yeah, so that's what I did. I did locum work for a whole couple of years. But then the drawback with locum works is any hospital, if they do have an open shift, they will try to fill it with their own people because they're cheaper.
Right.
And then so 30 days before the shift needs to be filled is when they'll open it for you. So you could only know a month ahead what your schedule was.
Now, when they booked you, can they then still replace you, or once you're booked, they're committed?
They're committed. That's why they wait till the very last minute. And so, year after, the first year was great. The money was great, but I had to be at 7 different hospitals to ensure that I had enough shifts, because some hospital, they're always trying to fill their hospital. So once they don't need you, they don't need you.
I'm surprised. I don't know. And maybe I'm just used to all the established hospitalist teams that we have in Massachusetts, but like, I mean, emergency departments, I can see that, but like, is that still an ongoing thing with locums for a hospital? Oh, because they have a lot of turnover. So I'm looking at it like, I know a lot of people after residency go into hospitalist medicine because they're typically, you can hand things off to specialists. Especially in Eastern Mass.
You're not on call. You walk away when the shift is done. You're done.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about it.
It's like the opposite of what you're doing here, kind of.
100% opposite.
Which is going to lead to some questions later, like why are you doing both? But that's an interesting side. So now, before we get into what you're into now, because that's pretty much next step, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to ask one question. Just to take a step back to your college days. So you're running this practice now. You're obviously extremely ambitious with there you go, a little humble and beautiful. And then you're making a big splash in a short period of time here, right? So I'm sure you're making waves, and I guess I get the feeling that this isn't something that's surprising you, because even in your undergrad, let's see how good ChatGPT is. You were also studying economics back in your undergrad. Yeah, see, I got you.
You did.
So were you planning on starting your own practice even back then? Like, if you were going to get to med school, like, were you thinking of things at that level?
So it's weird, right? So my mom's old school, and so she wanted a doctor in the family. She wanted an engineer in the family. So my sister and my brother became engineers, and she, like, when I was young, I was like, oh, you're going to be a doctor. And so you
guys listen to your moms, huh?
You get your
Is that a Sri Lankan thing, or
you get your ass whooped if you don't?
Okay.
So those were the old days, my man.
You got the switch.
The gentle parenting that they do now is not something that they did back in the day.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
And so I always knew I was going to be a doctor, but I was always interested in business, like running like a business, so like organizations and like event management. Like I was telling you, like that was my dream. Like if I could be an event organizer, that would be like the best thing ever. So I knew I wanted to do business. And so the other thing is, like, you can't go into a business if you don't understand the basic language, right? And so when I went to undergrad, I did biochemistry because you need to get into med school, you need to have a bio degree, but I also was very interested in economics. So I did my BA in economics and BS in biochemistry.
Okay, and was it a double major?
It was a double major, and then I did like a minor in biology and then political science. I did a minor in political science and a minor in classical.
Okay.
Because it's just fun. I love like Greek culture and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And, it's always like geared towards how do you get into med school? And the way, like, I'm first generation. Like, I didn't have anybody who was a doctor in the family.
Does it
when
count as first generation if you weren't born here?
No, what am I?
Yeah, so
The
you're
original.
you're last generation in your
Yeah,
family for Sri Lanka. So your kids are first generation.
my kids are
right?
first. So for me, like, I didn't.
Wait,
have
what's the
any-
native language?
We speak Tamil.
Oh, okay. Do
Yeah,
your kids
same
speak
thing
at
as
all?
Jaleel and all of them. Yeah, Soma, everybody.
Wait, Mo's not,
He speaks Tamil. Yeah,
but he's not Sri Lankan.
it's Sri Lanka and India. They all speak
Okay.
the southern part of India speaks Tamil. It's called
Does
Tamil
it touch
Nadu.
Nepal at all?
No.
No. Okay.
Nepal speaks a little bit east of there.
Yeah.
But it's crazy.
Interesting
so-
times right now in Nepal too, huh?
Yeah, it is. You can't mess with the kids, man. That's a good conversation. Also, Gen
It
Z
is if it had anything to do with healthcare. I mean, I don't mind
Mhm.
dipping into it for a second, but it's a
economic
really
outlook is terrible.
what?
It's economic outlook. They
Yeah.
have no. They 20% of them don't have a job,
Right.
and they're coming out of high school without a job opportunity.
Yeah.
You can't piss those people off. You can only take jobs away from
I
people.
mean, but
for
they've
so
gone
long.
through such
Political
not-
violence.
yeah, I was gonna say violent change is just even just
You know what set
philosoph-
them off, right? You know what set off the most recent riots and stuff? They shut down social media.
yes.
I died
Which is-
laughing.
I mean, it's hilarious, and
But that's
also
one thing you
it's
can't
like
take
it's
from
not
that.
surprising.
No, that's all they have. Like,
You
you can't.
You can't do
You
that to
can't do
kids.
that, No.
But also, I mean, this place was a monarchy. What, 15 years ago?
Yep. 20 years ago, I think was the
20
last
years
time it
ago?
was a monarchy.
So it was a monarchy that's switched to becoming a republic,
Yep.
and now there's a movement to try to switch it back.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they know.
I mean,
It's
the prime
hard,
minister
man.
just resigned,
Yeah,
right?
smart
Yesterday,
move.
I think.
Yeah, I think they burned down his house or something most recently.
Well,
too,
I would
yeah.
resign if someone burned down. I'd be like, I
Well,
don't
the
want to be here.
problem I heard was all the political leaders, their kids were posting on Instagram and social media living a
Oh,
luxurious
get out,
life.
dude. Yeah.
And it just
And
it's a whole cycle.
but so I'm going to tie it into healthcare. Ready?
100%.
Ready? So here's the thing too with like, so as we know what happened with like Luigi and the CEO of United
Yeah.
Healthcare, and a lot of people couldn't wrap their heads around how that happened, why it happened, and not that people supported this guy,
No.
but they weren't vilifying them, and a lot of people didn't understand that. And and here's the reason, and it's the oldest thing. It's not Republican, Democrat. It's not.
Ooh.
Here's how I see it. It is the oldest story in the book. It is the haves and the have-nots.
Absolutely.
Because okay, you already see where I'm going, so they probably do too. It's and the haves don't see it.
No.
But the have-nots, like you can say, I would never do what Luigi did, but you put in the way people have been screwed over, and I'm going to tie this now into what you do in a second, but the way people have been screwed over, whether it's by payers or whatever it is in the healthcare system. And now you picture with all of the people in this country, you have 350 million plus people here, right?
Mm.
And so even if you go to 1% of people, let's say 1% of people have a terrible situation happen to them at some point in their lives. And maybe 1/10 of 1% of people have it happen to multiple family members. That 1/10 of 1% is still millions of people. So
man.
like now you just have to take one of those people to snap.
That's
I'm surprised it hasn't happened more.
That's
like-
that's what we always say, man. It's just like it's I'll tell it. And him, even Luigi, he really wasn't the have-nots. He actually had
Right, but he had multiple family members that were affected, and he
Yes.
still didn't have control.
no, he did not.
And,
man. Well,
yeah.
the whole nightmare becomes like if I see you and I, you're my patient, and we see this all the time.
Mm.
God forbid your dad died of heart disease and
Mm.
he had a massive heart attack, and your uncle died of a heart attack, but you're
Mhm.
20s and you're like, they all had severe heart disease. I think I should get my heart checked out. Like, and I
Right.
want an ultrasound of my heart.
Right.
And I say, yeah, you are high risk and mental health is important as well.
Yeah.
Let's get the ultrasound of the heart. Let's just make sure your structure is okay and
Mhm.
there's nothing that we're missing.
Right.
We have this great conversation. You go, I put it in, and the insurance company says no. No, that's not warranted.
Right.
And they're not seeing the patient. They're not talking to the patient. They're getting paid by the patient because they're still
Right.
paying their premiums,
Yep.
but they get rejected. And they come back to us and they get very upset. And they're like, well, you and I talked and you agreed. And I said, I still agree.
Right.
And I called your insurance company and I told them I think it's
Wow.
important. But at the end of the day, it's who has the last word, and it's them.
Right. Now you have to pay out of pocket. And now
if
that's
they
a
have
very
to do
different
it's
story.
a whole different story. Yeah, because those things are not cheap. And
I mean, nothing is. And yeah, it's terrible. So now let's tie it into what you do. We didn't talk before the show about transitional care. I imagine you do a fair amount of that,
a
right?
lot of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there was recently, I think end of last year, I think in the fall, the U.S. Senate looked into prior authorizations specifically for transitional care. So again, for the folks at home real quick, transitional care is when you have somebody that is discharged from an acute care facility like a hospital, and now they're going to either a skilled nursing facility or they're going to back to their home. And often these people are going to be discharged with moderate or complex conditions, even when they're leaving. So CVS, United Healthcare, and Humana stuck out as, I think United Healthcare and CVS were 4 times the rate of anyone else for denying prior authorizations. Humana, I think, was like 16 times. It was wild. So they didn't say anything, like they didn't specify that there was fault. I imagine there may be some further action taking place. But these things get in the way. And I know Mass Medical Society right now is fighting Massachusetts to change requirements for prior auths, especially with Medicaid, whatever they can control, because it's just a tool to stop paying. So like CVS had something where it had to do with discharging patients from the hospital, where their denials of admission, something like that, where it ended up saving them over $600 million in a year.
You know,
it's not
funny
small
when
numbers.
they say that. Like, they're not saving 600 million; they're just taking it away from the people.
Right.
And it's always like, when they say like the insurance companies made 1.5 billion, what they're saying is they got 1.5 billion from their patients, their panel of people, the people that are paying them.
Right.
And instead of spending that money on them, they kept it for themselves.
Right.
And it makes me laugh when people say like, oh, it's a profit of 1.5. I'm like, no, it's 5 of us getting together to pay one person. And that one person took our money and said, hey, I'm going to keep most of this and not give it back to you guys or spend it on you.
The responses are so silly too. Like Humana's response to that, I think, was, our patients have this high of a satisfaction rate. We're not charging the patients anymore. It's like, right, because you're the one that's not getting paid. Like the clinicians aren't getting paid.
No.
The practice and like people, and a lot of people, I think, look at things like, I mean, you're clearly making it, right? You're a clinician. You have infinite money. You don't have to pay for the rent of this place, the insurance, the nursing staff, like all your probably dozens of vendors to run this place. And you're supposed to do this shit for free? Like it's
hard, man.
It's I mean, there's nothing wrong with making special cases in certain situations, and everybody should have acceptable losses. But when you have things like this, and again, this is literally like, there's no bigger animal and there's no bigger beast in the business than CVS is.
Oh God, yeah.
So what? You have to take a hit, and they don't. Like it's very lopsided, and I mean, it's good to see that there's reviews of this stuff being done. I know there was one where, I think it was 2021. I remember it was right after COVID. There was this woman named Sonia something. I think it was like Sonia or something like that, but everyone called her Sonia. She was like an entrepreneur. Then all of a sudden she had some mental health issues. She was in someplace in Middleborough for a couple of years, and then they discharged her. But they discharged her to a homeless shelter. She had requested and had been accepted to some other kind of a home that was not a homeless shelter. And I think it was like 30 hours later, they found her dead, overdosing on like cold medication and like pain meds and shit like that. You remember that, Kate?
I do. Stuck out. We all talked about it because it's safe discharge planning, man.
Right. So okay. Now this is a world you are in.
Yes.
So it is not an easy world. You're dealing with a lot. So
so many.
I always get told by the few people that I get responses from of this stuff always tell me I talk too much. So
oh no, you know the questions, man.
I would love to know, like, tell us what your biggest problems are, obstacles are. I mean, you can call out whoever you want, but what is getting in your way, and what are the difficult pain points that you got?
So it all depends. So I'm in a whole, like, there's the inpatient world, which is where you're in the hospital. From there, there's the skilled nursing facility world, which is the SNFs. Then there's the assisted living facility world, and then there's the outpatient world, and then there's the home world. So family medicine, but I trained in Tennessee, and in Tennessee, it was Cumberland Gap, Tennessee, middle of nowhere, and their family medicine docs did everything. They were in the nursing homes, they were in the assisted living facilities, they were in the hospitals.
That before hospitalists came out, that's what they did. They would see their patients when they got admitted and stuff.
Everything. So you would see them in the hospital, you would see them in the nursing homes, you would see them. You really didn't. They were, they actually did their own colonoscopies up there because you couldn't really get
rural environment.
Yeah. And so I learned in that environment. So I always wanted to know. I knew the whole game because we were doing it in Tennessee.
Okay.
I came here and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, I'm in this world," and they don't really know what's going on in the other worlds. They just don't know.
Right.
So when I did the hospitalist game, your biggest thing is you have no control. Zero control over your patients. You could medically manage them, but patients are more complex than just medical management.
Oh, yeah.
The easiest case, you come to visit your mom. You haven't seen her in 3-4 months. You come to the house where she lives alone. She's 80, 70, whatever. And you're like, "Mom, you look terrible.
Yeah.
You can barely walk."
Right.
Bring them to the hospital. We admit, we give them some fluids, antibiotics if they have an infection, and then we say, "All right, you're good to go." Where are they going? You're going to put them back in the home by themselves, where they live alone. They're not going to take all their medications because they can't keep their medications in track. The family's like, "Well, I'm here to visit. I got to go back to my life. I can't leave my mom alone here. She needs to go to a nursing home and get stronger or do this or that." And we're like, well, "Okay, that makes sense. It's not a safe discharge. Who's going to pay for it?" So you go to the insurance companies and you say, you submit an authorization, prior authorization. We think she needs to go to the nursing home. Let her get stronger. Let her learn how to manage her medication. Short-term rehab.
Yep.
And you never know if they're going to say yes or no. And if they say no, I'm involved with utilizing, the peer-to-peers, the prior authorizations, the appeals and stuff like that.
Good.
I've never won an appeal for a nursing home because they have the same chart that you have. So they already know that they're going to deny you, but the patients have the right to appeal because of laws. And that's why when people talk about, we have laws, and I'm like, they know how quickly to circumvent these things very quickly.
Yeah. Yep.
And so we do the appeal, and they're like, "Well, according to the chart, patient's vital signs are stable, blah, 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 blah. There's no real reason to go to a rehab. Living alone at home and being unsafe is not a medical reason to go to a rehab."
Right.
And you get stuck, man. And now the family's concerned, and then they don't have the money to pay for 24-hour care.
Right.
And so the reason a lot of hospitalists are burned out is not because of medical complexity. We love that stuff.
Right.
I went to medical school for that stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what burns people out, because now everyone's angry. The hospital wants the patients
and who
to
does
move
it
on.
fall on? I mean, you're the one discharging them. Ultimately, your name.
It always falls on the doctor, man.
Right. So
whoever's the provider there.
And I mean, that's a really good example. There's also the reality of, and not from a malpractice standpoint, but from a, you've never met this person before.
Yep, that's it.
You're treating this person. You have the information you're given probably by that daughter who hasn't seen them in 3 months. Maybe it's 3 years.
Yep.
And do you have the updated meds? Do you have a good history on this patient?
Yeah.
Are they like in an altered mental status? What if the medication you chose is wrong? Even just the medication's right, but the dosage is off. Maybe there's one comorbidity, one diagnosis missing that would have changed what you did. And so they go home and then they're coming right back in. Yeah. But all the heat comes on you guys. So if you're denied being able to transition them to
the family takes it out on you. And they say, "Well, I can't take my mom home. I can't do this." And it's funny because they say, in a good environment, you say, "All right, listen, you're going to go home and you're going to see your primary care in a week. They're going to reevaluate your meds, make adjustments. That's great. Can you get in with your primary care?" That's why I got in the primary care world.
Yeah.
It's hard to get appointments.
Yeah.
Everybody's overstaffed. But then again, how is mom going to get there?
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't drive. Should she drive? Probably not. Sorry, I got to go back to take care of my kids.
Yeah.
Or I have to work 8 to 5. I got to pay my bills, the daughter, the son, whoever's taking care of them.
Right.
And so people get lost in the system. And guess where they end up? A month, 2 months, 3 months down the line, they're back in the hospital.
Yeah.
Because the family
came to visit. And the thing too is this isn't a rare thing. This is happening more and more often.
All the time.
Because now we have medicine has come far enough so that everyone's living longer, which is great. But you talk about quality of life. Oh yeah, we haven't done this one yet.
Yep.
Dude, I am segueing the hell out of this one. All right. So quality. So like we talked prior to this that there is this scenario that I told you. I was taught this by Tracy Ramos, who runs First Choice Community Medical Services. Close enough.
Something like that.
Which is going to assisted living facilities mostly, last I checked. Now, she told me the longer you keep a patient going, the worse the experience is for the patient, but it's better for the family for closure and stuff like that.
100%.
Whereas if somebody dies without notice, it is traumatic to the family.
Great for the patient.
Great for the patient, which is, so it was really hard to get into that mentality. Yeah. You guys see this every day, and most other people who are not you guys see this a couple times in a lifetime, and typically not till they're much older. Yes. So it comes off weird, but it makes sense. So quality over quantity,
100%
of life, always. And that's how you advise your patients too.
So it depends on what stage of their life they're in. Do you know what I mean? You can scare patients when you say, "Oh, I only care about the quality of your life, not how long you live." Someone who's in their 70s, 80s, they understand that immediately. They'll look at me and say, "Yeah, nope, you understand," because they've lost their friends, they've lost their mom, their dad, they've lost some of their kids sometimes. They've been through a lot, and they understand that they don't want to live forever.
Right.
They just want a happy quality of life. They've seen their friends have stroke and have to be taken care of, can't wipe their own butt. They've seen all the
hips
horrors.
Don't work, whatever.
They can't walk, they're in pain. So they've seen the horrors of what happens when we start deteriorating towards the end of our life. But if I have an 18-year-old or a 30-year-old and I say, "I don't care if you live to 70.
Like, let's talk about end of life."
And they're like, "What do you no, they're like, "I want to live to 100." And I'm like, "Okay, we'll talk in 20 years and see how you feel."
Dude, I had this employee once. She was trying to get I just hired her. She was doing terribly. Like, she wasn't really dependable, wasn't showing up well. So she was getting in trouble of losing her job during the probation period. And then she gets into this accident, which I ended up finding out later was because she was checking her makeup in her thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, she breaks both of her knees. She's 19.
Oh boy.
She has this massive airbag burn in her head. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't, I imagine that probably can resolve or whatever.
Yeah.
I hope. But she was like, "I'll make sure I'm in on Thursday or something." And I was like, "What are you talking?" I thought you said you broke your leg. She was like, "Well, I did. They've got me in these braces. One was like the long cast." Yeah. I was like, "How are you going to sit down at a computer station and do work, right?" Yeah. And she's like, "I'm going to be there." I was like, "Listen, you're having dependability issues." I was like, "You need to go to physical therapy."
100%.
And she was like, "It's fine. I need this job." I was like, "Listen, you were 19. I am not paying you well. No. You're just starting in here. You have no experience. You're at the it was probably it wasn't minimum wage, but it wasn't much higher than that.
No, yeah.
You're 19. You probably want to properly rehab your legs because
you got a long life to live.
God willing, you have some decades to go."
Yeah.
And then she showed up once and it was just ridiculous. She at one point she came in with it. I was like, "You're not coming in here," and she was like, "I have a doctor's note." And I told her, and I was like, "I don't know what your relationship is with people in your family." Yeah. I was like, "Your doctor's an asshole. I'm going to stop right there." I was like, and I don't know who else is in your family and who I don't know if you have a dad or not, but here's what I'm going to tell you because I'm in that position right now.
Yeah.
If you come here, you'll be terminated by the end of the week because you're having dependability issues. I'm not going to have any choice.
Yep.
And she ended up trying it and she ended up losing. But it's crazy the perspective that people have on their life sometimes.
Because they're planning, man. They're planning for their future. There's a lot of thinking that happens in your 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
That really isn't that smart. You know what I mean? Where you're like, what are you doing? No.
Yeah, and I guess it's weird too. Sometimes you reflect and it's like, okay, I guess, I'm it's sometimes okay, maybe I'm not as dumb as I think I am when I'm having these conversations with people. It's like the Jerry Springer show. You feel better about yourself when you see what.
Yeah, you're like, "Oh, that's
crap is out there."
I was doing as bad as them at least.
Yeah. They have. I found out that my friends and my employees have started drinking games with this show. Apparently, I say the word "interesting" a lot.
I love it. Yes.
I don't. They're all and I'm a victim. I treat everybody really well privately. You have no idea, but
my people are waiting to see when I start swearing. They've already coached me.
You can't swear on the show. This is a lot of
friendly. No, totally understand.
No, it's not at all. I don't give a shit. We were drinking mimosas a couple episodes ago.
I love it.
And the other thing I guess I don't normally use the word folks.
Folks.
And they say I use it all the time on the show.
Yeah, it's more professional. People like it.
Do you say folks?
I say y'all, but Tennessee.
Yeah. Oh. How long were you in Tennessee for?
The best 4 years of my life.
I can tell
the best 4 years.
You're like still there.
They did hiking. They did fishing. I got into boating from them. I got into guns from
Boating,
them.
what? You're not even on an ocean.
We're here. We're pretty close to many ocean spots here, brother.
Oh, in Tennessee.
The lakes, man. Most beautiful lakes you'll see.
Like big lakes, I guess.
Big lakes, man. There are lakes all over, but it was just a lot of like wildlife. It was a great time.
Yeah, I've only been once. I went to Nashville and like
that's completely different.
Yeah, I imagine, and it was pure touristy. We saw like the Patriots play against the Titans. We were the two worst teams in the league.
Yeah,
and we still fucking lost. But like we go there. So I mean, everybody loves music, but I'm not obsessed with music.
Yeah,
like. Do they call it the Music City? Yeah,
Nashville,
Music City Miracle. I remember from
Nashville's completely
different.
Man.
I was not prepared.
No,
like I walked in, I'm like, I'm seeing these like 5-story buildings next to 5-story buildings,
where you can rent
and there's a bar on every level, and a different person. You're either strumming a guitar, you have like a whole band, you have just speaking with it, blasting music, and all the way to the
roof. They're all
and it's side by side, and each one's named after some other country singer, and I'm like. And they have karaoke like crazy. And they say that's talent scouts all over the place or whatever. And I'm like, I never have seen music celebrated anything close to that.
No, I'm like 9 hours north. So we were in the boondocks, man. It was all mountains.
Yeah, and you have like 2 time zones out there, right? You guys are split somewhere. Because I've been to Dixon, Tennessee once too.
Yeah. It's a massive city, man. Out of state, but
long, right?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know the Kentucky Fried Chicken guy?
Yeah. Colonel Sanders.
Like with how the states line up to be the Kentucky.
So
where's Tennessee? Is the plate?
So KFC, so where I was Kentucky, Virginia, and Tennessee, and Tennessee is supposed to be the plate, with the chicken and the drumstick and stuff like that. Yeah, we're right in the center, man. Tri-City.
Okay. I also created this thing, so this tells everybody who we are. So here is mine.
Oh, nice, Loudmouth in Chief. I love it.
I made this one for you.
Oh, that's rude, bro.
Right?
I won. I won the poll so far.
I know. I'm behind enemy lines. I don't want your staff to come in here and like.
They'll support you. Are you kidding me?
So far, they have.
Have you seen my staff? They love putting me down.
I tried to come at them before. I was like, if you vote, and they're just like, no, we don't like him. He's terrible, terrible.
They love seeing me put in my place. If you.
Oh, okay. Do you have somebody that works here that is just like beats the crap out of you like that?
Everyone.
You've
seen everybody.
God, that's a lot like my place.
Yeah, you saw Bethany was here earlier, so she's
that's right.
Chief Operating Officer.
Yeah,
she does what she wants.
Yeah.
She tells me after she does it, and she's like, I don't even know why I'm telling you. I'm just gonna do it. Then I got Divya, who's my sister-in-law. She runs the office.
Oh yeah.
And again,
I met her too, and she was brutal when it came to
you see where my office is now?
Yeah.
So I used to be in the middle there.
Yeah.
And they literally kicked me out here because they said, we don't really need you. Just like,
wow, you're like in the rural area of.
Yeah, and it's a lot quieter here. But everybody runs the build. Like, that's how I succeed. Because, like, as you know, I do everything.
Yeah.
I'm medical director for hospice. I'm medical director here, there, do so many different things.
Okay, yeah. I don't think I actually know the totality of what you do. So this is a family practice with 9 clinicians?
Somewhere around there.
Somewhere around 9 clinicians, give or take. You run the inpatient program for adult medicine.
So I did the inpatient medical director at Anna Jake's Hospital for the last 6 years.
Yep.
It was supposed to be a 1-year gig. Again, when I got out of residency, I wanted to learn, and you got to get exposure before you do what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
And so I was an opportunity with Dr. Jalil to say, hey, it's leadership. It's 1 year.
Yeah.
Just get some experience under your belt, and then
when you came here, you weren't medical director right away.
No, so I was doing locums, right? So this was one of the places that I did locums at.
And then Mo got you
to come back
on. So was that your first salaried position
with
on staff with Mo?
So when I graduated from, Dr. Soma.
Yeah.
Dr. Soma was good friends with my sister.
Okay.
And so when I was in med school and I needed to shadow like a doctor, I shadowed him. You know what I mean? So
cool.
So I've known him.
When was that?
2015, 16, or 14. 2011, 12. I didn't.
Dude, we could have potentially even crossed paths back
Probably would. So he was still at Holy Family at that time, and he was the medical director for the hospital's thing there.
Yeah.
And so me and him knew each other. So when I was graduating, he was like, hey, you should come work for us at Holy Family in
Yeah.
Methuen, which was like 7 minutes from my house back then.
Yeah.
But then they lost the contract, and Stewart took over, and so
Right.
I just was
Can you
like,
do an impression of him?
no, he's
I'm terrible with
unique. He's
depression.
very unique. Yeah. And
Yeah, it's like
if he ever sees this, he'll kill me.
Oh wow, is he violent, man?
No.
He'll come after me. Well, I'm all the way in Attleboro. He's not going to make that drive.
He can't catch you at this
Yeah.
point.
I got this. I just have to make sure I get out of here immediately.
So they told me 1 year. So I'm gonna set it up.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, 1 year, I'll do admin. Of course, that was the year before COVID. And
wow.
As the year is trending down, and I'm enjoying it because making connections and making things, COVID starts happening. You're not going anywhere when COVID hits. You know what I mean? It was all hands on deck. Dark times. Everyone is like, oh, during COVID, I had so much free time. I couldn't do anything. And I was like, it was the worst 2 years of my life because I was working every day. You know what I mean? And then next thing I knew, it was 6 years I was at NHX as the medical director.
Yeah. I remember one of my clients, she called me up. She was bawling her eyes out. She had lost, I can't remember how many patients in the SNFs in a week. And it's just one of those things too, where because the SNF world, which is the nursing home world.
You know what SNFs are now. Sorry.
Too soon.
Sorry.
That was a shout out to Tracy Ramos right there too, if you're watching, Tracy. If you remember the first time we met. Anyway, yeah, so this, you couldn't hold back. You said SNF earlier, and it was in my head. I was trying not to crack a smile. All right, anyway, now I understand why his staff is not really good.
No, I'm an asshole, yeah.
And so, all right, so what now you threw me off.
Yeah.
You got me on my heels.
Dude, we were losing, it's
it's
called Code Blues, right? So I used to be a night doc. That was my main thing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I love being nights, but that's why I know Remy and everybody. I used to be opposite him on.
Give me the name. Do you know the because I'm forgetting names right now. Lowell. Do you know the Lowell?
Never worked at Lowell.
Never worked at Lowell.
That was the only one.
That is a hospital.
That's why I didn't do it. It was way too much.
I had never seen a place that was stronger with the community. They do driver's ed out of there.
Oh, they do everything.
And they had when I first started doing work at Lowell. This is funny. So I get in there, and then I'm seeing how usually you have these signs that say nobody under 18 can come and visit a patient or something like flu season and stuff like that.
Yep.
And there it was 14.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
Mm-mm.
So I was, because I never.
Yeah, of course.
Why the hell is it 14 and not 18 here? Because parents need to see the mother of their child here. There was so much teenage and young teenage pregnancy that they had to bring that number down to 14 in Lowell.
Makes sense.
And it's interesting because I used to do a lot of emergency department stuff. So in Norwood, great demographics over there and stuff like that. And I was used to everything over there. Then I started doing the Kearney and I started doing Good Sam. In the Kearney, it was all of a sudden I never had gunshot victims like the game. And actually, same thing over at Lowell. Man. They'll toss the body out when they get in front of the ED. I hope you save them, but we can't stay here with our buddy. And so they drive up, drop a body, and drive off, and stab victims.
What the worst thing about that drop-off thing is, if anybody listens and if they have friends, don't drop them off at the main entrance of the hospital because at night that's closed.
This is a great PSA.
Please just drive them to the emergency room entrance. The number of patients that
wait. Oh, they go to the.
So they drive to the main, so they put on the Google.
These are rookie gangbangers, though, that are doing
They put on the Google hospital, which takes them to the main entrance of the hospital, which is closed at night. And they would drive, throw their friend out, and drive away.
God.
And we got cameras, so we'll see it. While the ED entrance is usually to the side. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
It's PSA. If you're gonna do that,
PSA to the gamekeep people who are watching us on LinkedIn, like you usually do.
Yeah, tell your friends.
Crap, I think we got a comment here. I forgot to if you make comments. I don't know if it's on the YouTube or the LinkedIn. I think only one of them come through, but we have a comment already. Hold on.
That's my sister. Yay! Hi, sis.
Very nice. Wait, weren't you just making fun of her? Oh no, that was your sister-in-law.
Sister-in-law. No, I'm scared of my sister and my sister-in-law.
So your sister, that must be an engineer.
She is. She works at Analog Devices. She's just got back from a trip from China. They just kept going up the chain, man. That's all everyone does these days. But
okay, we're still trying to define your job too. So we have the hospital. So what are you doing now at the hospital?
So I'm now chief of medicine at the hospital. And I'm the treasurer, and I'm more interested in the admin.
Treasurer of what?
The medical staff. So treasurer of the medical staff. It's something that
I don't think I even knew about that position.
Yeah, I'm part. It's just
it makes sense. You have your financial
background. Yeah, we have the whole medical staff. I know that the treasurer is the job nobody wants, so somebody has to volunteer. So I was like,
It really is. Every like
Nobody
board of
wants me to-
directors, I've been there. I was there over at Greater Lawrence Family Health Center.
Yeah.
I was the treasurer over there.
Yeah, nobody wants it, man. It's just somebody has to sign the check, though. Legally, somebody has to be like, yes, we approve, which is not even a decision the treasurer makes.
Correct.
Everybody else makes it.
Yep.
They vote for it, and then they say, sign here.
Oh my God. Okay.
So I did that, and then I'm here, and then we have some of the nursing homes in the area. I'm with Compassus Hospice, so they're based out of Andover.
Okay.
So I'm the associate medical director for Compassus Hospice, and I've been with them from the beginning. When I first got in, when I graduated from residency, I met with Dr. Soma, and he was already the medical director there, and he brought me in as an associate because I've always hospice has always been a passion, way from the beginning.
And why?
Hospice is a completely different world in medicine. There are a lot of things that you want to do that you just can't do in medicine when they're young.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If they're like, my patients are like, do I really need to take 40 pills every morning? Do I really need to do this? I just want to eat a steak, doc. Like, and you're telling me I can't just live my life. And you say, it's detrimental to your health. But when the hospice comes in, you're free to take care of the patients any way you want. And nothing makes a patient happy as after they've signed on to hospice, they already know, you can only get on hospice if you certify 6 months. You're going to die in 6 months. And so when that happens, the patient comes and they say, doc, like, I want to eat. I'm like, eat what you want. And they're like, what? And the family's always like, well, he's not supposed to eat steak. He can't have cheese. He can't have cake. It's not good. And I'm like, we're not at that level anymore. We're here to take care of you to be happy and just enjoy your life. And I've seen, so at the hospital, man, I learned very quickly in med school, what we do sometimes is barbaric. What we do to keep patients going and keep them alive is barbaric.
Right.
If you've ever been in an ICU, if you've ever seen a picture of an ICU, we've had patients that we've intubated so they're not breathing on their own.
Right.
They got a tube down their lungs. They're bleeding. They've got multiple IVs, fluids going in. Their heart stops. You're electrocuting them to bring them back. You've got a Foley, so you've got that. You've got a rectal tube sometimes because you're pooping everywhere. And you see these people and you're like, this is terrible. And and the sad part is, as doctors, we know they're not going to make it. I'm sorry.
Right.
Like
and you say that to the family.
But you have to be careful how you say it.
Okay.
And that's the hard part is the connection, right? So you bring your dad to me, a complete stranger, and they tell you, hey, your dad's going to die.
Right. You're, of course, not going to accept that just on face value. You have to be convinced.
And that's where people skills and developing trust. And so when I do it, I never tell them the first day because they don't want to hear that the first day.
Right.
They want to hear, what are you doing?
We're going to see what we can do and all that type of stuff.
And they say, well, you saw my dad for 10 minutes and you already told me he's going to die. Like, how do you don't know my dad? And they always go, he's a fighter. He's been through so much. And
I would say all of those things.
He's done this and he's started his own business and he raised us and he's always been the strong one. And for us as doctors, we're like, I understand, but I also have done this long enough to know that he's not coming back from this.
Let me flip the scripts on you for a second there. I don't know if you've ever had someone in your life go through something like this. Have you?
Yeah. So
when the scripts were flipped,
it's funny, man. So that's the whole reason this clinic came out to be, right? So my mom, she was the drive behind me becoming a doctor.
Okay.
And in Sri Lanka, when you become a doctor, a lot of docs, what they do is they open up a clinic, they put their name on it, nice neon lights, and you just start seeing patients. So she always wanted me to have my own clinic. That was like her goal.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'll get to it. So the weird part is she had Alzheimer's.
Oh, okay.
And I was in med school and residency, and by the time I got back, and this is why you never treat your own family. For any doctors or professionals out there, don't treat your own family. It's such a conflict
of interest.
Don't treat your kids. Don't treat.
I've had clients ask me that too. Like, well, what about this? If they're
don't do it.
Like, do you have any relationship with them? You're compromising. You might not realize it,
and you don't even notice it because she developed Alzheimer's. And by the time it was getting later and we realized it was Alzheimer's, and here I am, a doctor who tells patients' families all the time that, hey, your mom has Alzheimer's. Like, I didn't even see it in my own mom because you're too close.
Crazy,
You
right?
just think, oh, she's paranoid, or she's just
Right.
being mom. She's angry all the time. Or
Right.
she's just yelling again, or she saw something and she's just always been like this.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, she used to, like, she came from the old country, so she would hide her jewelry or her money or her phone because
Yeah.
you'd never know who would steal it.
Right.
But then she was doing that, but then forgetting that she did it herself.
Okay.
And then she would call and be like, somebody stole my money.
Yeah.
And we would go and try to look for it, and we couldn't find it because she's really good at hiding things. You know what I mean? And so she ended up going Alzheimer's, and we ended up putting her on hospice. And it was difficult. And we used Compasses, but we didn't use me, obviously. We used somebody else.
Use what?
Compasses Hospice.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And I had to talk to my whole family about it. You know what I mean? And here I am trying to explain hospice to my whole family and my mom, and everybody was on the same page. We all knew, like, we didn't want, there was nothing to do. What are you going to do?
But I mean, like, but it's such a shit position,
so
because
hard,
like,
man.
it's a tough position for you to be in.
Yep.
Because you're not only, I mean, you're telling this but you're also experiencing this anticipated loss now.
Oh yeah, 100%. And for me, and I tell you, I was happy, man. My mom was like suffering.
Yeah.
She towards the end of it, she wasn't getting out of bed. She couldn't eat. She thought I was her brother. Like, she couldn't even hold a conversation. She was mumbling a lot. She was in pain. And this is where hospice is like, let's not, why would you do anything to that?
So your focus on hospice, do you think that helped you come to terms with things?
It's how you said, like, there, you talked to, the first experience you had with the hospice, and you're like, these people are barbarians.
Yeah.
You become that sometimes. You get jaded, man. It's hard sometimes to process your own emotions. Like the fact that my mom died and my dad died a year before that.
Oh God.
You just never really, like, everyone's always like, oh, we're so sorry. And I'm just like, they led a great life.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why I like hospice, is you get that, you understand. I've seen so many different deaths.
Yeah.
I've seen 30-year-olds die from liver cirrhosis because they drank too much. You know what I mean?
I do.
And
yeah.
I've seen,
I had a friend that was a teenager that got cirrhosis, which I imagine must have been a genetic thing. But I remember, like,
terrible.
I stopped drinking for a straight year. She kept drinking.
Yeah, it's scary, man.
She was like 18. I was 17 or something like that. And she was like the most gorgeous woman I'd ever seen. I just wanted to be like within her vicinity. I was like, I'll go wherever she goes. But I was like, that scared me. It should have scared her.
It should have.
She kept drinking.
It's got to be careful.
Which means she's probably gone by now, I guess.
Oh, probably, man. It's hard, man. But then I've seen like 102-year-olds die, and it's like, you've seen the whole gambit. So it's hard to be like, I can't feel. My mom led a great life. You know what I mean? My dad led a great life.
Yeah.
But I still remember my sister. We finally got morphine on board, and my sister gave morphine to my mom. My sister always took care of my mom. And I obviously did not want to be involved. Like, I didn't want to be in the room. Like, I kept my space because it's just too much at that time. Yeah. And she gave the morphine, and then she called me and she was like, so when's she going to die? And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, I just gave the morphine. I killed my mom. And I was like, oh God, education. That's my sister.
Right.
Man. I do hospice. And I was like, no, that's not how morphine works.
Right.
No, she was like, what do you mean? I thought this would kill her immediately if I did this. That's why I didn't want to do hospice. And I was like, oh,
wow.
It's just education. It's so much misunderstanding that people don't understand about hospice, end of life care.
Yeah.
And then
again, it's just like, I mean, I look at a lot of things like, some people get surprised when smart people say or do stupid things.
Oh, yep.
So just from the limited knowledge I have of the brain. Yeah. So you have your amygdala here, your fight or flight.
Yeah.
And even though it's a very short path to get to the cerebral cortex, the frontal lobe, that's going to make complex decisions. If you're making the decisions back here, it never gets up there. So like, people, like, when they're emotionally compromised,
it's bad.
Are a lot less predictable, and like, you might expect certain actions out of them and are surprised by it because they're not thinking. And
you see
what's going to compromise you more than that? And it sounds like your mother was just such a powerful figure in your house.
And by the time she died, man, she was withered away into nothing. And that's what's hard for people to see. You know what I mean?
Of course, yeah.
I've had CEOs of companies whose parents were on hospice. And when I try to explain it to them, like I'm trying to explain it to you, they get offended. They're like, I'm a CEO. I have all this educational degree. Like, I know. And I'm like, listen, no, they're not going to make it. I'm so sorry. You know?
Right.
But it's really, and that's why with hospice, it really is a chance for you to do what medicine should really be about, education.
Yeah,
It
so you walk
really
into your hospice center, you're like, here's a steak, here's a pack of cigarettes, let's go smoke
what
them
you
up.
and
You have one with them.
hospice really is not about the patient, man. It's about the families because the patient's great. There's three.
It's so ironic because that's what I always say about PD.
Yeah.
Like everybody loves the kid. Like actually, like
everybody
the
loves
last
the kids.
episode.
I never could do peds, man. I did one peds
Why?
rotation.
Oh, because the parents.
I did one peds rotation, and I remember I had this beautiful kid. He was like 6 years old, running up and down, playing in the room.
Yeah.
And the mom's like, "Oh, he's not doing well." And I'm like, "Okay, so check him out. He's completely fine."
Right.
And she's like, "Well, he's got a fever." And I'm like, "No, his temperature's fine." And I was like, "Well, what was it at home?" And she's like, "A mother knows. A mother knows."
Oh God, yeah.
And I was like, "Okay." And she's like, "Well,
Yeah.
he needs antibiotics."
It's hand on the back of the head type of like logic.
Yeah. And she's like, "Well, he needs antibiotics. He's sick." And I'm just like, "He doesn't need it." And then my attending was like, "Yeah, we'll just send him a Z-Pack if you need it. Wait a couple days. If you see another fever, you can just start it." Because what are you going to fight, man? Because the next thing she's going to do is take him to an urgent care. So that's all they're going to do. If you don't tell them what they want to hear, they'll go somewhere. And I remember going like, I can't do this for the rest of my life. I just can't, because I can treat the patient, and when the patient, but you can't treat the family at the same time. And that's what peds is.
Yeah, it's just interesting because I mean, like a lot of people would think, why would you want to get into hospice? Because these are all patients who are going to expire. Like, I remember I interviewed a nurse practitioner, a pediatric oncologist, nurse practitioner that was just finishing up at I think Regis, and she was like 2 feet tall. I mean, I swear to God, like she must have, I think she was like 4'10" or something like that, and had much bigger balls than I've ever had, dude. Like she came in and I was like, this isn't part of the interview, but like I'm glad there are people like you. I was like, but why? And she was just like, if I can make it, if I can keep them going for even like a week long, if I can have the parents understand it and have have the end process, like she was saying all the right things, and the whole time just like I go to bed pretending that doesn't exist. Like I can't live in a world.
You can't think like it's a dark world.
And like how the hell I couldn't last 10 minutes in that job, and you're gonna make your career that. Like, thank God there are people like that. But like, so there's people like you who get into hospice, and I'm obviously drawn to PD, but like, and I'm glad that people are different. But
I'll tell you an example. So especially during COVID times, right? So we had this one patient, and I still remember this because like it was bad, man. He was the husband, he had a wife, and he had 3 kids. And he refused to let them go out of the house because he's like, it's not safe. It was still COVID time, before pre-vaccine. And so he was the one who would go shopping and get food for the kids. He was the one that was going out. And he loved his family. The family loved him. And he got COVID. It was going to happen. And then he was getting sicker and sicker. And towards the end, like he ended up coming to the hospital. We took him to the ICU. He got intubated. And before he got intubated, I remember he was like, I'm scared. And I was like, we should call your family and just talk to them. And he did. He called his family. He talked to his wife and 3 daughters. They met with me multiple times. And after he went and his organs started shutting down, and again, this is where hospice is, like, it wasn't him anymore. He was done. I was done with him. He never was extubated after that. That was the last conversation me and him had. But then I spoke to the family, and then the family, I had them at bedside. We extubated, terminal extubation, they call it. And I gave them time to spend time with him and talk to him and do all of this. We made him comfort measures only, and he passed away like a day later.
Wow.
And they were in the room with him the whole last 24 hours. And we did hospice on him, basically. And then I still remember that if we didn't do hospice on him, right? It was COVID times also. You couldn't visit. Family weren't allowed to.
So how'd you get that to work?
Because he was made hospice. So when you
hospice is allowed?
Comfort measures only. So this was towards the end of COVID, where if the patient was made comfort measures only and they went on hospice, then you could have visitors. Because we all knew it was barbaric to keep people away when they knew they were going to die.
That shit with like people not being able to go to like funerals, the hands on either side of the sniff windows.
Dark times, brother. So the family spent 24
that stuff
hours
was wrong, man.
It was bad, man. So the family spent 24 hours with him, and then he passed away. And I remember talking to the family afterwards, and they were thankful, man. They were like, we got to spend a good 24 hours with him, and they had closure and everything. And at the same time, there was another family that refused hospice and said, we want everything done. They're going to make it. They're going to make it.
Right.
We shocked them. We did chest compressions when their heart finally gave out. They died a horrible death. And the
Right.
family was never at bedside. That guy died alone. And you look at those two lives and you say, I knew what was going to happen to both of them.
Right.
Probability wise, we knew what was going to happen to both of them. Which way would you want them to remember that?
Yeah, but they don't have the clarity you have. Like,
and that's why hospice is important, because you need people that are
yeah.
willing to
Oh
sit
wow,
down.
God,
and have
what a
those hard-
great
it's
argument
hard,
there you're
man,
making.
but
Yeah,
it's not about the patient, because it sucks.
dude, it like that's the thing too.
family.
It's like you're like whenever you're powerless in any situation. I don't care if it's even like some mundane crap.
Oh, it's hard for people.
You know,
man.
you're broken down on the side of the road, like
Yeah.
any like the frustration and the I will do anything to accomplish X.
Oh yeah, and they get angry. We've had patients that like the 90% of the family agree, and then there's that one son or daughter
Yeah.
who's like, I will not let you kill my dad. He's gonna make it, and it becomes a war. Like, dude, we've seen it all, but at the end of the day, you have to put yourself in that situation, because somebody has to help them. And I always tell them, like, listen, if you in the middle of the night, if you're thinking, did I do the right thing or not, don't blame yourself, put it on me. Be like, I trusted that doctor, and that's why I made that decision. Because everybody in the middle, and I always tell them, it's at 2 a.m, you can't sleep, your mom's already passed away, and you go,
Yeah.
did I do the right thing? Should I have kept her fighting? And I always tell them, at that point, just remember, it wasn't you who made the decision. We made it as a team, and you trusted me to do it. You know what I mean? So hospice is crazy, brother. It's a crazy world out there, but it's important.
Yeah, because I think I would be one of those bad.
Oh yeah, it would be.
Like,
oh yeah.
Because I just
the younger you are, the harder you take it.
I just think I would fight for any, like my fiance is a Jehovah's Witness, and I have straight up told her not to make me her healthcare proxy, because I was like, if you end up in a blood transfusion situation,
you would give it. Yeah.
I was like, I will lie to every doctor. I'll be like, blah blah blah. It's me, actually. I don't know why the sister's still on there. It's me. And I will do. And I'll be like, no, she gave up that religion. Oh, that's ridiculous. Whatever. I told her, I was like, I don't care if you never talk to me again afterwards. I'm going to save your life. Hold on. Who do we have here? Oh, we got a couple. Oh my God. I love this. We got comments. All right. Do you know this guy, Zebalon?
No.
During my heart attack, it was my doctor who drove me straight to the hospital. Now tell me, how many patients ever get that kind of ride? Thanks. Kiruba.
That's me. Oh yeah, you know.
You know who that is?
Yeah, that's my father-in-law, man. So great story. 2 a.m. No, at 6 a.m. I'm getting ready for work.
Yeah.
And I come home. I'm coming down the stairs, and I see him, my father-in-law, and I turn and look at him, and he's like sweating. He's going like this, and I'm like, what's going on? He was having a full-blown heart attack.
Wait, you drove him?
I was like, get in the car. Dude, we gotta go. Because I know his history, and he had a heart attack before. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And I was like, you need to go. Like, and he was like, oh. And I took him straight to the hospital, actually.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm that same, like,
It's me, his father-in-law. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That was a great time, man.
It's me, his father. Oh, we have another one. Is this
Yeah,
from
it's my
your sister again?
My family's crazy, man. Dude,
I never get comments on this
they
thing.
stalk the crap
Look at, we
out
have
of me.
2 viewers. That's a new record.
They've all
for
been
us.
sitting there waiting to hear me talk. It's great.
Never see any kind of person like him.
Yeah, I know, man. This gets very
Wow.
salty. No, they're very.
Do they know you or?
No, not well.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah, man. So
All
it's
right.
crazy. It's nonstop.
I don't think we're ever gonna. How are we doing? Oh my God, we're already at 12. Okay, so I haven't gotten to like anything yet. So talk to us. So let's get to the real meat that I want to talk about, even though I'm way late on this.
Don't worry.
You're good with time?
Yeah, I got nothing, man.
Okay. Yeah.
My whole staff covers for me.
Everyone's
wonderful.
already selected other clinicians that they want to see.
Yeah. It's all taken care of.
Totally get it.
That's why I got Bethany, man.
Right.
COO, she runs the whole joint for me. So.
So I want you to tell us a little bit about your practice, like the whole thing about how you want to make sure patients, like, because you were complaining earlier about people waiting and people not being able to see in same day, and that's always been something that's important that I want. So can you tell us about what this practice does here, specific what you do here, and then
when we started this clinic, man, it was me, and it was after my mom passed, and I said, I should have probably done this while she was alive. Not that she would remember it, but so I did. I started the clinic, and it's always been the same. And like, if you read our Google reviews, we have like 355-star Google reviews.
Wow.
Everybody knows what needs to be done, but it's hard to do it because what you needed was a whole team that's got the same goal, right?
Okay.
And so that's why when you go into like the bigger hospitals, the doctor doesn't really even know the front office.
Disconnect, yeah.
And so if the patient comes and tells the doctor, oh, hey, like the front office staff was rude to me,
Yep.
the doctor goes, oh, okay. Because he doesn't hire them, they don't have a connection, and the person who did hire them is up here,
Right.
and it comes down here. So there's a huge disconnect.
Sure.
And everybody's in it for themselves. Paycheck, I'm going home. And when you're private practice, if the patients aren't here, I'm not going to get paid, and they're not going to get paid.
Yep.
Like the staff knows they're not going to get paid. But if you're in a bigger hospital, you can run it a like, you know, what is it, like all these Mass General, BILH, they lost like 250 million last year or something.
Yeah.
You and I can't do that. We can't be like, oh yeah, I lost 100 million last year. Let's see what next year looks like. You know what I mean? That's not gonna happen, man. And so I always wanted to do it right from the beginning. And I'm here. Like, we have Saturday hours, we have extended hours. Any one of my patients can say, hey, Dr. Siva, like, I don't feel well. You walk right in. You might have a wait, but we'll see you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
My dad, we have like, you know, I'm friends with all the nurses, the family, friends with everyone. Anyone who texts us and says, hey, my dad's not doing well, I always think, and I've talked to my staff and we all say the same thing. What if that was your dad? You know what I mean? All fun and games. You come for physicals, you come for routine follow-ups.
Sure.
But hey, shit, he just hit the fan here. My dad's blood pressure is 200. My dad doesn't feel well.
Yep.
What do? Well, you call your primary care first. But if you can't get in with your primary care, then what's the point of being primary care? And what are most people doing nowadays? Like, I've heard from my patients, I called my doctor, my previous primary care, and they said they can see me next week. And well, I'm not going to wait till next week.
Right.
Off they go to the emergency room.
Yeah.
Off they go to an urgent care where urgent care doesn't know you.
Yeah.
They don't know your history.
Yeah.
I've seen patients.
And you're going to rot in that emergency room for question mark hours.
8, 9 hours sitting there miserable when they can see me, who can look at them and go, yeah, no, you're fine.
Right.
Stop it. You're fine. I had a patient who came in and he was like, I had to see the doctor. I'm having a stroke.
What time are you open to on the weekends?
So we do 9 to 12.
9 to 12.
But we can do whatever hours we used to do. You know what I mean? It all depends on like when our patients need to be seen. The only time is like,
as long as they give you a heads up on it.
As long as they give us a heads up. Like, I've worked on Saturday. Like, worked last Saturday, and a patient called and was like, I can't get until 12:30. And we're like, yeah, just whatever. Show
right.
We'll wait around for you. But I had a patient who walked in and was like, I'm having a stroke. And I brought him in and I'm like, dude, we talk about this every week. You're not having a stroke. But yes, please do walk in. But no, you're not having a stroke.
Right.
It was the same guy who was going to the emergency room before he came to us.
Okay.
And so the way the clinic works really is, man, it's common sense. Like, when I tell patients what I do, like, we answer phone calls. I've hired, and I invest all the money that comes in back into the clinic.
Yeah.
We have 4 nurses.
Answering services suck.
4 full-time nurses, man.
Yeah.
I have 4 nurses. I have like 5.
Yeah, I saw the whole crew. They were all like huddled up. There was like a whole pile of.
But it's what you need, though, man. Because if you don't have the staffing to invest in it, like, it's not in it for the money. And I always tell everybody, they're like, oh, you must be making a lot of money. And I tell them I was. Before I opened up this clinic.
But,
like,
I mean, staffing is insane.
It's hard to get staff.
But but like, the thing too is it's the patient experience, but it's also to be successful with your patients. So like, if you have a nurse you can train, like, this is our mentality. This is how we look at healthcare and stuff like that.
Here's the best part, though, man. I don't need to.
Those answering services won't do that, though.
They don't. But the nurses that I have here, the staff that I have here, they already have that mentality. That's why they came to me.
Yeah, because you recruited a lot of them.
I recruited a lot of them. Yeah, don't say I stole a lot of people from other places, but
I said it. You said it.
I know.
I like
who's listening, man. They're gonna be like, he did steal them. He told me.
A lot of people get into the second hour of this show. It's very most popular.
But I stole a lot of the people that, you know, throughout your life you bump into a person and you go, hey, if I ever do something crazy, you're gonna join me, right?
Yeah.
And this is what the crazy thing that I'm doing is, and they all join me, and they all have the same mentality. They're like. And we all had the same frustration where we were in other places together. We're like, why won't they just hire another staff member? Or we just need someone. It's not even, you don't even have to pay a minimum wage. Just answer the freaking phone. That's all we want.
Yeah.
And so we did. We invested back into the clinic. Every time we keep growing, I invest back in. Try to keep everyone happy. But then when you ask, like, well, what does your clinic do that's different? It's nothing. We answer the phone call.
I don't say that. I mean, your front office. I'm not walking in here and getting like the eye roll, like,
that's
another patient's here.
But that's what you shouldn't expect. But like, we've got. I know, but we've gotten to a point where if you walk into a clinic and the front office is actually smiles at you, and your
It's
doctor
special. It's
and your
surprising.
doctor sees you on time,
Yeah.
which is 15 minutes late as it is.
Yeah.
And then when you go and you call, somebody answers,
Hmm.
you're like, this is phenomenal.
And that's in every industry. It's not just healthcare, but
Yeah. And I'm just like, that should be the standard.
of course.
That's like, that's,
Yeah.
I keep telling people, like, we're doing the minimum.
Right.
Like the
Like,
minimum
this should be-
expectations.
this
This is
should
the
be-
most
yeah.
minimum expectations.
I agree. That's,
You know what I
that's
mean? And
interesting.
that's why, like, everyone asks, well, what are you doing differently? Like I told you, we are 7,500 patients now. We're growing
Awesome.
50 to 75 new patients a week.
Yep.
We're in the beginning, we were 100 new patients a week, and then it started slowing down to 50 to 75. And I was like, oh, it'll probably keep going down. No, we've been 50 to 75
Yeah.
new patients. Local primary care offices close, and they they
Sure.
call around, and they
There's
go.
a lot of people that are hanging up the shoes lately.
They are. It's a hard industry,
It is.
man. But when
It
they
doesn't
call
get easier.
around,
It gets harder as it goes to.
and the patients call, and they say, I call, and I always tell them, well, how'd you find us? Well, they're like, oh, well, we got on the phone. I called 3 places. They said, and they all said it on the website, accepting new patients. 6-month wait, 12-month wait. We can do a physical for you next year.
Wow.
They call us 1 to 2 weeks, man.
Yeah.
We step up. We step up.
It's awesome.
And if I need more staff to help, we hire more staff.
Yeah, so I imagine you probably have a really quick onboarding process too for new patients.
Everything's
and
all
stuff like
technology, AI.
Which
We
is
talked
good.
about
that.
this,
Good.
but
All
it's made our lives a lot easier. You
Yeah.
get a text message where you can pre-fill everything, so when you come here, everything's already pre-filled.
right.
So you don't have to do the whole paper and pen thing
And
write
online
it.
pay and stuff like that.
Everything's all technology.
dude.
Technology,
That's great.
technology.
Now, how, like, you said that you're a medical director at a hospice, but you're doing this and you're chief medical. So how are you? Are you actually ever at the hospice center? Like, how's that work?
So hospice is weird, man. So inpatient hospice, when you do hospice in the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
you're actually doing real hospice. When you do outpatient hospice, you're just the medical director. You actually have the nurses do all the work for you. So
Okay.
the nurses are the ones that are going out into the community, building relationships with patients, signing patients
Oh,
onto
interesting.
hospice.
Okay.
And then by Medicare guidelines, you need a medical director to run these cases by. And so, like, that was actually surprising to me when I started, because I was like, oh, I want to do hospice. And I thought I would go and meet patients and stuff. And they're like, no, we can't afford you to do that.
Right. I
And
mean,
it
it makes
comes down to
sense,
money, man. But nobody's going to be able to pay a doctor to drive
It's
out
true.
an hour
Yeah.
to go see
I mean, I
a
say that to my
patient.
clients all the time too. If I see that and they're doing like faxing, they're like, I've seen a lot of really weird stuff where like they're making the phone calls to the payer, they're doing the faxing. They're like, I just do it better than everyone, Tim. I'm like, you could see one patient and pay for like 3 people to do
all
that
your
job. Like,
it's a financial thing.
right.
So
And it's a control. Like we talked about delegation before the show too, and like delegation is a real hard thing to do. But
it's hard to trust some, especially when you're type A personality and you're used to having a lot of control. The fact that I can sit here for 2 hours during the busy time out there and be like, okay, I know that as soon as we leave here, there isn't 10 patients out there about to yell at us for something going wrong. Like, I trust my team, which took a long time to get there.
Yeah.
Even though I've already worked with them before, it's still like, I'm not, I've gotten to a point where I'm not like, is everything going okay? Like, are the patients being checked in on time?
Like, where you assume it's going to be like a red alert as soon as you walk through that door.
And I actually, now I've gotten to a point where I have such good staffing that I assume that when I leave here, there's going to be no problems.
Man, that's awesome.
And
I mean, when you get to that mentality, then you can actually take a vacation.
No, don't say that. My wife might be on here. Don't give her ideas.
Let's make sure she's not here.
Nah, she's at work, but she's already said she's going to watch the whole thing later. So
scary. He drove the car like a jet.
I was playing.
So you have a heavy.
No, I had to drive fast, man. He was having a heart attack.
Actually, yeah. See, I don't have a great memory myself, so
I think I actually ran a couple of red lights. But I had a good reason. I was right. He had a full blockage. They had to take him straight to the OR.
Did they? Oh,
because I called ahead and I said, yeah, he's got a heart attack.
Commenting, so I guess that went well. It ended
the
up
second one. So, but no, it's been crazy, man. But no, that's what makes this place amazing, and it's what everyone here has a drive. They're all young, not anything against like old people, but like they want a career.
No, you can.
They want
I see what you say. Like you can feel the energy here.
Oh yeah, and everyone has their own side gigs that they want to do, like their own side projects. We've got like Melissa, like I told you, she already runs a med spa, but she wants to run a bigger one.
Yep.
We want to do a hospice house. We want to do like IV therapy. We want to do beauty spa. We want to do this.
Right.
Everyone has their own goals. And I've always told them, like, this is our foundation.
Yeah.
Keep our patients happy. We get a patient panel. Then when you do want to do something, you're not struggling to starting off looking
Right.
for patients because you can feed off of the
awesome.
patients that you've already made.
Oh, I love
happy.
it. It's such a great way, and it's like such a healthy way to think.
Yeah, and it's reputation based. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? When like if I go and say UFMC is doing now a med spa,
Yep.
everyone's going to be like, oh, hey, wait, UFMC, they do high standards. They care about their
Yeah, it
patients.
becomes part of the brand.
Everybody makes mistakes, but they try to own up to it. Like
Yep.
that's the reputation that everyone here has to give to the patients.
Yeah.
But if our reputation takes a hit, you're done.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. No one's going to trust you. You know what I mean? That's all.
Yeah,
I mean,
not in this environment.
and
I
I
mean,
always tell people, like, if you go on vacation, the first thing you do is go on Google and you look at the star review and you say, am I eating here or not? Let's see what the
Right.
comments say. Oop,
Right.
Nope, not eating here.
Yep.
It's human nature, man.
Yeah.
And so
Oh, I love
reputation
it.
is key, man. Oh, shit. That is my wife. Yep. She is listening.
Yeah.
Yep. She's planning her vacation. Yeah.
Oh,
Don't worry. I'm planning vacation. Yeah. Yep. There it is.
well, looks like someone's gonna have to put in some extra hours
Ugh.
prep for that, because you said you're only working like what, 80 hours a week? Right?
Actually, man, now that it's funny, but I have more like opportunities now than when I was like 2 years ago before the clinic. So we're like, if you look on paper, I have this, I have nursing homes, I have this, and that.
Yeah.
But we have such a good team that I actually have a better quality of life than I did
Good.
a year ago.
Yeah.
I was
How old are
working.
your kids?
There's 5 and 3.
5 and 3.
So there's
And
a lot of times, man, where like I wasn't home on weekends, or I was doing nights, or I was working through holidays. But this is the first time, like
you
we
can
have
actually breathe a little bit.
Yeah, we have a whole team now. It's not just me doing this.
And I imagine because you work in hospice in the SNF environment, you know, a lot of stuff that I've heard, like I've seen some great articles with people who work in hospice that talk about regret.
Oh,
and
very
always
much
like
so.
one of the
Very
what
much so, man.
it's such an interesting when you see like the commonality of the amount of people that say, I wish I worked less and was with family more. That was like the number one that always shows up.
Like even before I did hospice, like when I was working with doctors, the older doctors, no doctor has ever told me, I wish I had picked up more shifts. Every doctor I've talked to who are older in their career is filled with regret, because medicine before, back in the day, was like thought to be the only thing that mattered. If you didn't see your kids, it didn't matter. That was your job. You're a doctor. You're not supposed to be at home. You're supposed to be taking care of people. Every doctor I've talked to in the old days who are in their older age of career have told me, stop. You go home and you spend time with your kids. They will remember it. They are not going to remember going on a nice vacation, because great, you're making enough money to go on vacation twice a year. They're going to remember that you didn't pick them up from school ever. You weren't there for their first concert. You weren't there for their games. You weren't there for this. And I remember I told you I was doing nights, right?
Yep.
So one night I came home and I went to bed. My wife and my oldest at that time was old enough, and she looked at me and she goes, why are you here? You don't sleep here. And my wife gave me the same freaking look you gave me, and she said, you're done.
That's not acceptable. Yeah.
I was done with nights 3 months later, man, because the kid started to notice that stuff, and I don't want that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I did it when I took over my business. I was like, am I going to be home for dinner? And it is a decision, because you're either all in, because either I'm going to be all in one way and doing the 80-hour weeks, or I'm going to find like, or I'm going to be okay with the fact that I'm not going to have an empire. Like, but I'm going to have like this relationship. There was this colleague who I really hope isn't watching, and I respect him very much. No, this is serious. He said to me, he was really excited because he was forced out of his job, and then he got a new job at this great place. I'm not going to say why, because I really don't want anyone to tell him I'm talking about him. I'm really hoping I have low viewership today. And he was excited because he was like, you know, I'm loving this new job because now I'm going on a family vacation. And I was like, oh, have you not done that before? He's like, no. He's like, and my son is 17 now, and I'm so excited. We're going to have the whole family going. And he was very happy, and he was really excited. And in my head, I'm just thinking,
what
like,
are you doing?
that's terrible.
That's terrible.
He's a man now. Like, he's 17, and like,
dude.
And that's I don't know, that just had a really hard thing for me. Like, so but like, I wish I worried less about money, and all that stuff, because, you're not taking that with you.
Have you ever heard the song Cats in the Cradle?
I sure have.
That's it, man.
How have you heard it? You're too young for that.
I listen to the music. Yeah, Tennessee.
Yeah, and your dad didn't abandon you. You don't get to sing that song.
I know, man. But that song is like it's literally all I think about these days, man. Because I know, like, what's happening. My kids are older. Every day I come home and I'm like, you're a new kid. Like, that's not you from a week ago. Like, who are you?
Yeah.
That song is what, like, every patient I've had on hospice, they never reminisce about all their work trips or being a CEO of a company.
Yeah.
Anytime they talk about their kids, their family, what they did, vacations that they went on. That's all they remember. That's all. Even the Alzheimer's patients.
Yeah.
All they talk about is family, man.
Right.
All they talk about is the happy things they did. Never does anyone ever talk to me and say, "Oh yeah, I was a CEO. Right. I closed that big deal.
Oh man,
I did
when I chose not to buy that TV, I saved so much money. It was so great."
Nobody ever says that, man. It's always what they spend with the family. It's all that matters at the end.
Right.
So
I totally agree. That's I mean, I have a couple other things, but I'm gonna call it there. That's an awesome place to leave it, dude. Thank you very much.
It's a better beard.
Huh?
Better beard, man.
Okay, you know what? We're doing it right now.
All right, ready to go.
For the 8,000 people watching right. Wait, we got at least five live right now.
Excellent.
Better beard. I didn't put my beard oil in, but
but you don't have enough gray, man. You need the gray.
Dude, I do. One of my friends says that Andy Stone, who I know watches this, he's always like, you're coloring your beard. I'm like, no,
it's el natural, man.
It comes out like just like yours.
Style. It's curly too, right?
But when I trim it, it looks darker.
Yeah.
When I let it grow out more, it gets much more white.
Yep.
So I got the whites. Hold on. Come on. We need just one.
One person.
The next person that comments.
Come on, baby.
It says 5. One of you are watching. Comment right now. Oh, wait. You know what? It's on YouTube. Switch to YouTube. Go to the YouTube feed and comment.
My baby right there. That's my wife.
You know what?
There it is.
I'm gonna drop a bunch. You're gonna have so many more patients here. You're not going anywhere. Okay, whatever. This is the worst Tim Talk Live ever, and we'll see. Hold on. What do I have for the next one? Oh, next one. Ready? This is kind of. I don't know if this counts as healthcare. So, her name's Renee. She is a career firefighter.
Ooh.
Who went through a really interesting story of having issues with support from her, you wouldn't call them coworkers, right? Fellow fighters? I don't know. My old man was a firefighter for like 19 years. I should know this. Terrible son. But she had issues with union and other, when she went through some difficult things. And so now she has created her own wellness practice that provides burnout training to captains as well as it's good stuff. And I think, they're first responders. I think she also does police and paramedics and all EMS type of stuff.
They're all in the same world.
They're in our world.
I'm telling you, man. So medicine wise in the hospital, we see them after they've been cleaned up by EMS.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've heard stories of my nurses who are married to firefighters.
Yep.
They're having a bad day. I'm like, hey, how are you feeling? They're like, John just pulled the baby out of the fire. And I'm just like, bro, you think you're dealing with some crazy shit. Imagine going to somebody's home and pulling their baby out of who just burned.
Dude, my old man told me,
man.
My old man was, he was in Quincy for I think he served in 19 years in Quincy.
Yeah.
And this is way, way back. So probably in the 60s, I would think, 60s, 70s, and 80s probably. And he was one of the first EMTs because they didn't have firefighters and EMTs were two totally different jobs.
Yep.
So he was one of the first ones. So the first call he got, one of the senior people said, "Get up here, DeBona." And he goes up there and they pushed him in front and the woman opens the door and hands him a baby that's blue. First day on the job.
That's crazy, man.
I mean, it's I think he said for all the times he did things like CPR, and you got to figure they're first responders, so they're there, and you guys probably end up, especially when they're on the floor seizing, you're there seconds later, but
you have all the equipment.
You got 5-15 minutes later, is when you're first showing up, and I think he saved 2 in his whole career, because by the time you get there, especially if people aren't educated on how to do it themselves.
But that's why I say like the whole hospice conversation and full code stuff, man. Like it doesn't end well. And even if you come back, it never ends well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The problem is by the time you realize how important it is, it's because you've had a tragedy already.
Oh yeah, it's bad, man.
You know?
It's absolutely bad.
But
oh, you got it. Oh, good to meet you. My father-in-law says hello.
someone respects me. Well, we're not going on any double dates anytime soon. All right. Well, anyway, we'll see you at the next one, guys. We'll check you next week. Thank you very much.
Take care.